Tonight on News Channel 12, live at 6, Bowling Green takes the spotlight in a new movie.
Plus, the plot thickens for the Clinton email server investigation.
And it was another warm day on the Hill today, but there's some rain in our forecast, and that will lead to a great weekend. I'll have that and more coming up next.
This is News Channel 12, live at 6, where commitment makes the difference.
Thanks, Ben. Bowling Green now takes the main stage in a new documentary discussing the possibility of election rigging. The investigative documentary focuses on the voting practices of minorities and young people. Much of the documentary was shot in Bowling Green last year. The movie premieres Thursday on fusion.net. If you'd like to see the documentary the day it premieres, a viewing party is set in Downing Student Union at 7 o'clock. And WKU students are now registering for the spring 2017 semester. Here you can see when you're able to register. Priority registration opened on TopNet yesterday morning at 5 and goes through November 17th. You can still add and drop classes after that date, but make sure you wake up early to make sure you get into those classes before they fill up.
Welcome back. With temperatures continuing to rise, people are spending more time outside. The second annual Kite Day at Aviation Heritage Park in Bowling Green took place because April is National Kite Month. Bowling Green Annual Kite Day also featured Rapid Rick's Jersey Dogs for concessions and the Red River Fiddlers as a musical entertainment. While Bowling Green and the rest of Kentucky have had sunny skies, other parts of the United States are underwater. We're going to take a look at the Houston flooding video we showed earlier in the show. That is absolutely devastating. I can't imagine being a part of this.
And it's so crazy just to watch it again. I know we watched it earlier, but I can't wrap my head around how much water that is, having to struggle out of your car to get through all this water that's happening, and seeing all those people on the boat really trying to come to safety, the guy struggling out of his car. I can't imagine what kind of situation that could possibly be.
Yeah, and Chris, you said your family's from Houston.
They are. And another thing I want to point out is if you go back to that video, you see just how quickly his car was underwater. You know, that's the reason for turn around, don't drown. Your cars can get submerged quickly, very quickly. Now,
tonight on News Channel 12 live at 6, it's not quite as intense as the Hatfields and McCoys, but there is a feud going on between two Kentucky families. Find out who coming up.
And a new law in one state could have some pedestrians getting fined. Find out why coming up next.
and after severe flooding across the city of Houston, all eyes are on the next rain chance for us in the Bluegrass. I'll iron out those details in just a few minutes.
This is News Channel 12, live at 6, where commitment makes the difference.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us here at News Channel 12 today at 6. I'm Devin Hall.
And I'm Hattie Baji. Politicians are out in full force today as the New York primary comes to a close. New York has a closed primary system. Only registered Democrats and Republicans can vote. New York has 291 Democrat delegates and 95 Republican delegates up for grabs. A Republican presidential candidate has to get 1,237 delegates nationwide, while the Democratic candidate has to get 2,383. According to the Associated Press, as of now, Trump has 743 pledged delegates, while Cruz has 545. For the Democrats, Clinton has 1,761 delegates, and Sanders has 1,073. Polls are showing Clinton in the lead for Democrats and Trump in the lead for Republicans.
I will stand up and fight for you through this campaign and into the White House.
No New Yorker can vote for Ted Cruz.
The battle continues for Kentucky leaders today. Governor Matt Bevin announced a preliminary investigation uncovered questionable activity within the administration of Kentucky's previous governor, Steve Beshear. Bevin claims there is evidence state employees were coerced into donating to the 2015 campaign of Steve Beshear's son, Andy, who is currently serving as Attorney General. Just last week, Andy Beshear announced a lawsuit against Governor Bevin, saying his executive order to immediately cut college and university budgets is illegal. In Governor Bevin's statement today, he said the citizens of Kentucky deserve an honest and transparent government. All government officials must be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars that fund our state government. The hardworking men and women who send their tax dollars to Frankfort expect and deserve nothing less than this. Finance Cabinet Secretary William Landrum will conduct a full investigation into the Beshear administration.
Today is the last day to register online for the May 17th primary in Kentucky. Allison Leonard Grimes spent the past couple months promoting the new online voter registration system in Kentucky. Grimes made a stop at Western Kentucky University to talk to students about getting registered and shared with us how the new system is doing.
With our online registration system, we've actually seen over 15,000 Kentuckians use the system.
The website to register to vote is govoteky.com.
A proposed bill could have some pedestrians getting fined. News Channel 12 reporter Dila Yasmin gives us a look at why some people may be getting in trouble for what some people are calling distracted walking. Dila?
New Jersey State Assembly proposing a new bill to pedestrians from, get this, texting while walking. Students on campus gave me their opinions here on the Hill.
Texting while walking has become the new habit for most people. I walk around campus to see students' reaction to the possibility of law passing here in Bowling Green. A WKU freshman, Jack Corey, says if the law passes here, there might be a chain reaction.
So you could have people losing their jobs over this and that because, you know, maybe they got to walk to work. You know, they can't tell their boss like 10 minutes ahead, I'm going to be 10 minutes late.
Students understand texting while walking can be distracting, but turning this into a criminal offense will be controversial.
I wouldn't support it because I think it would be difficult to regulate.
Texting while walking is something that we do all the time. There is even an app that people use to navigate what is in front of them while they're texting.
Even though the bill is not applied in Kentucky, students should pay attention on their surroundings while they are texting and walking.
The new fad of distracted walking could become fatal. Safety experts are urging pedestrians to put down the smartphones and pay attention to your surroundings. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Delia. Major flooding has killed at least 7, displaced hundreds, and has left thousands of people in Houston, Texas, without power. According to CNN, over 1,200 high water rescues were performed on Monday. Houston's Mayor Sylvester Turner released a statement that said there is a flooding in every part of Texas. The National Weather Service is forecasting more heavy rainfall and thunderstorms for the Houston area through tonight. Wow, Hattie, have you seen water that high?
No, absolutely not. These water levels are absolutely insurmountable to see those people struggling through the water to just get out of your car. I couldn't imagine being in that situation.
CNN reports that a news reporter rescued a man from his vehicle.
You know, that did happen. Now, thankfully for us, we are not looking at so much in the way of flooding. In fact, it's been very nice. Let's go ahead and look outside.
Some places are being hit by the discrimination bug, but here at WKU, off spray is kept on hand at all times. News Channel 12 reporter CJ Smith gives us an inside look at promoting diversity.
Despite the rise in anti-LGBT legislation proposals, WKU officials believe the LGBT community promotes diversity.
It's another forum that's important. It affects tons of people throughout the world. You're going to encounter people who identify as LGBT every single day.
Housing a Residence Life hosts a drag show to encourage students to see things from a different perspective. Some people are misinformed about drag. You don't have to be gay to participate. You just fall into the minority when you do.
What? You acting like you've never seen a guy do drag before. I mean, it's not always about the queens. You got the kings and the divas as well.
As one WKU student makes his transition, the other participants help him keep a clear mind.
Very competitive, especially during pageants. But it's also a brotherhood. So, like, you get very competitive and you're competing against each other, but you're also helping each other out.
As the king's confidence grows, so does their showmanship. For News Channel 12, I'm CJ Smith.
All participants of the drag show were either students or alumni at WKU. Coming up on News Channel 12 live at 6, a local business owner who's trying to grow more than her business.
A historic bombing in the United States find out how long it's been since the Oklahoma bombing took place.
Welcome back. It's that time of the year again. It's time to give blood for Greek Week. The Red Cross and WKU are expecting to have over 1,300 donations of blood in the 4 days the drive is going on. The American Red Cross Blood Drive is taking place in the Preston Center until Wednesday at 6 in the evening.
Graves Gilbert Health Clinic offered the last free session of HIV testing for the academic year today. With just a swab of the mouth, the test is painless and only takes 20 minutes to complete. To schedule an HIV test with Graves Gilbert, you can call the clinic at 270-745-5641. Again, that number is 270-745-5641. A local photographer and businesswoman is expanding her business to a new location. But that isn't the only part of her life that's growing. Reporter Austin Atwood takes a closer look at the Scottsville local who is staying very busy.
As an owner of a successful photography business, Andrea Harper decided it was time for another baby.
I have always wanted to do a children's boutique for some time now. For as long as I can remember, and I've had the studio for 6 years, and we have been looking for a while to move locations somewhere that has more traffic. So when we found this location, it just was perfect and it worked out.
Andrea is not only the owner of 2 local businesses, she is also a working mother.
We have the kids with us. They've been up here every night this week, every day, trying to get stuff in order, just because we put our kids first.
Not just a mother of 1 or 2 children, but of 5 children with the hope of having more.
We did in vitro fertilization, and we had my body hyperstimulated, and we produced a whole lot of embryos. So where an average couple would produce 2 to 4, I produced 12 embryos. And we are going to give them all a shot. So we have used 8 embryos, we have 5 children, and we have 4 embryos left.
While the family business is growing, so is the family. For News Channel 12, I'm Austin Atwood.
More babies were born in 2012 than 2011 as a result of in vitro fertilization.
A tragic event marks its 21st anniversary today. On April 19, 1955, Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols bombed the Alfred P. Murrah building in Oklahoma. The bombing killed more than 100 people and injured an estimated 600 people. This past Saturday was a special one for the Bowling Green community, as athletes from across the region were able to show off their talents at the Bowling Green Special Olympic Spring Games. Over 160 athletes competed at the games held at Bowling Green High School on Saturday. They were able to compete in a variety of games, such as track and field events, wheelchair races, and even an obstacle course.
As a coach and for many years, I bubble over with pride when I not only our kids but all these kids out here, Russellville, Bowling Green, all them. It's just wonderful.
Winners move on to compete at the state competition held at Eastern Kentucky University in June. For more info on the story, go to News Channel 12 Live, newschannel12live.com.
Coming up next in the weather, it's a beautiful day in Bowling Green, but will it last? Find out after the break. And later in sports, just kidding, we've got some golf action heading your way. Stay tuned. Welcome back. With temperatures continuing to rise, people are spending more time outside. The second annual Kite Day at Aviation Heritage Park in Bowling Green took place because April is National Kite Month. Bowling Green Annual Kite Day also featured Rapid Rick's Jersey Dogs for concessions and the Red River Fiddlers as the musical entertainment. While Bowling Green and the rest of Kentucky have had sunny skies, other parts of the United States are underwater. We're going to take a look at the Houston flooding video we showed earlier in the show. That is absolutely devastating. I can't imagine being a part of this.
And it's so crazy just to watch it again. I know we watched it earlier, but I can't wrap my head around how much water that is, having to struggle out of your car to get through all this water that's happening, and seeing all those people on the boat really trying to come to safety, the guy struggling out of his car. I can't imagine what kind of situation that could possibly be.
Yeah, and Chris, you said your family's from Houston.
They are. And another thing I want to point out is if you go back to that video, you see just how quickly his car was underwater. You know, that's the reason for turn around, don't drown. Your cars can get submerged quickly, very quickly. Now, thankfully, as you mentioned, yes, my family is in Houston, and they are all okay. They didn't go out and drive in it because they didn't have to go to work, thankfully. So, all in all, I'm very thankful with what has happened in Houston. Well, that my family's okay, not exactly what's happened. And for us, things are so on the much drier side as of now. In fact, temperatures have been very warm.
12. Dollar General is paying close to $1 million to an injured truck driver. A Lauderdale County, Kentucky jury has returned one of the largest personal injury verdicts in the county's history, finding Dollar General at fault for injuries sustained by a Kentucky driver 5 years ago. News outlets report that the jury on Friday awarded Howard Luttrell $925,000 in compensation following Luttrell's lawsuit filed in 2013. The lawsuit says Luttrell was crushed by a cargo he was carrying when he opened the back floor of his Florence destination. Luttrell also had to undergo extensive medical treatment and has been unable to work since the incident. The jury found Dollar General had loaded and prepared a trailer in a dangerous and unsafe manner.
Tonight on News Channel 12, live at 6, Bowling Green takes the spotlight in a new movie.
Plus, the plot thickens for the Clinton email server investigation.
And it was another warm day on the Hill today, but there's some rain in our forecast, and that will lead to a great weekend. I'll have that and more coming up next.
This is News Channel 12, live at 6, where commitment makes the difference.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for News Channel 12. I'm Darby Bean.
And I'm Lexi Ratterman. The election is exactly 1 week from today, but voters are not just voting for the president. You'll be able to see here in just a second an exact replica of what a Warren County ballot will look like, and you can see all the different things you're going to be voting for. Also on the ballot, you'll notice there are the usual write-in lines. Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes announced the 23 write-in candidates that have filed documents to be write-ins. Of the 23, 6 are presidential candidates from Kentucky. And Ohio Governor John Kasich voted yesterday, and not for someone you would expect. Kasich voted for John McCain instead of Donald Trump. A spokesman for the governor says Kasich voted a straight Republican ticket other than that. After hearing the 2005 audio tape of Donald Trump's sexually aggressive comments, Kasich made a statement saying he would not vote for the GOP nominee. However, Kasich declined to endorse Trump months after the primaries ended. And one of the big races on the ballot includes the battle for U.S. Senator. In Kentucky, Democrat Jim Gray is running against incumbent Republican Rand Paul. In a TV debate between the two, a question came up about appointing a new Supreme Court justice. Paul said he couldn't imagine voting for a nominee from Hillary Clinton. However, he says he would meet with potential candidates. Paul also says he would support them if they believe in separation of powers. According to ABC News, Gray criticized Paul and other Republicans for not considering President Obama's nominee for the Supreme Court.
FBI Director James Comey is taking criticism from both political sides. CNN reporter Reed Byan explains why Comey is being criticized for handling the Clinton email server investigation.
Clearly, these protocols were protocols that Director understood.
Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Kaine slammed FBI Director James Comey for making public the renewed probe into Hillary Clinton's email server after the discovery of possibly new emails on the laptop of Anthony Weiner, the estranged husband of Clinton aide Huma Abedin. The Clinton camp going on defense, trying to make the story about Comey. Clinton campaign manager Robbie Mook hitting Comey for commenting on the emails after reportedly refusing to comment on potential ties between the Trump campaign and alleged Russian efforts to influence the election. The Clinton camp getting help in its criticism of Comey from former U.S. Attorney General Alberto Gonzales.
I didn't understand the purpose of the letter. All of us somewhat perplexed about, what the director was trying to accomplish here.
Two of Gonzales's peers echoing that criticism. Former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder writing an op-ed calling Comey's decision incorrect. Former Attorney General Michael Mukasey also saying that Comey mishandled the situation, but pushing back on Democrats' claims that Comey may have broken the law. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Hillary Clinton did respond to the allegations about the email findings.
Asking what this new email story is about and why in the world the FBI would decide to jump into an election with no evidence of any wrongdoing with just days to go? That's a good question.
FBI officials say they don't know how many emails are involved in the investigation.
Clinton and Trump are not the only ones who prepared for debates this year. Reporter Allison Wells caught up with two WKU students preparing for their own presidential debate.
Being Donald Trump has definitely been a sore for people to pick at.
Brian Anderson is a member of the WKU forensics team. But today, he's not just Brian, he is Donald Trump's surrogate debater.
So on the forensics team, there are lots of people who are very, very liberal, myself included. And so we needed somebody to play Donald Trump. And since this was my idea to bring this to the forensics team, I decided that I would be the one who would learn all about Donald Trump's foreign policy so that I could, upon asking questions, say, according to Donald Trump's campaign website, this is what he would do if he were elected president.
Lily Nellens, who is also a member of the forensics team, is Hillary Clinton's surrogate debater.
I'm really excited, one, just to have a conversation with Brian, who's representing Donald Trump, and all of the great panelists about foreign policy in this election, and to be representing Hillary Clinton. That's, as someone who's been a lifelong Hillary Clinton fan and supporter, kind of the dream.
The event is called the Clinton-Trump Foreign Policy Surrogate Debate.
Yeah, the idea is if her foreign policy advisors were asked to talk about her foreign policy, how would they do that?
Brian and Lily are looking forward to the event and hope there is a large turnout.
The debate starts at 6 here at Gary Ransdell Hall. For News Channel 12, I'm Allison Wells.
That event is swipeable for students. But we've got something nice for you here. Reporter Ben Martin is actually live at that debate to give us an update on how it's going so far.
Hey guys, I'm in Gary Ransdell Hall, and just a moment ago, Brian Anderson and Lily Nellen, as Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton took the stage for WKU's presidential surrogate debate. Now, I know the forensics team was a little nervous about attendance, but I just popped in there a minute ago, and it looks like they're going to have a pretty good crowd to watch them battle it out. Now, I'm about to swing back in there and watch this debate, but if you want to see more live coverage on location just like this, don't forget to tune into our election show next week, November 8th. We'll see you there.
Thanks, Ben. Bowling Green now takes the main stage in a new documentary discussing the possibility of election rigging. The investigative documentary focuses on the voting practices of minorities and young people. Much of the documentary was shot in Bowling Green last year. The movie premieres Thursday on fusion.net. If you'd like to see the documentary the day it premieres, a viewing party is set in Downing Student Union at 7 o'clock.
The Student Government Association is hoping to increase voter turnout by offering a ride to the polls. SGA will partner with the Ride to Vote company to offer free rides at 3 different locations across WKU's campus. The labeled cars will then drive students to the polls throughout Election Day. Tune in next week for Tuesday's election show at an inside look for how students utilized these rides. And also, student body presidents from across the state sent a letter to Governor Matt Bevin discussing the budget. The letter talks about how the Kentucky lottery money is supposed to be divided to support education, which is based on need. The letter also explains how school grants created by the lottery caused limited scholarships over the years. The student government presidents that participated in the letter include presidents from WKU, U of L, and UK.
And now we've got Evan Hatter here joining us on set to give you a little look at our weather for the next week or so. 5 Macy's stores across the nation are closing after being sold. Breaking news today, one of the 5 stores closing is the store located in the Greenwood Mall in Bowling Green. The store will still continue to operate through the holiday season, but the Macy's will officially close in the spring of 2017. And WKU students are now registering for the spring 2017 semester. Here you can see when you're able to register. Priority registration opened on TopNet yesterday morning at 5 and goes through November 17th. You can still add and drop classes after that date, but make sure you wake up early to make sure you get into those classes before they fill up.
Students are raising awareness for human trafficking by wearing the same gray dress every day for a month. Today, the project starts in order to highlight the struggles of human trafficking victims. Their goal is to spark a conversation about the topic and collect donations through the GoFundMe account created by the PFT staff. And health insurance rates could be on the rise due to the cancellation of Connect. Tomorrow will be the first time Kentuckians will be required to use the federal website rather than Connect, which was ran through the state. Governor Matt Bevin ended the health insurance program last year. Bevin's officials say Connect had nothing to do with the rise in rate prices. Meanwhile, officials for Voices for Health say the confusion from the system switch may have pushed some providers to pull out of the program.
A meeting may be in the works between protesters and Dakota Access Pipeline representatives. A spiritual leader of the Great Sioux Tribe said Monday that leaders of the 7 tribal nations are considering a meeting with representatives from the parent company of Dakota Access. A neutral ground region in Bismarck, North Dakota could be a possibility for the meeting. Protesters of the $3.8 billion pipeline worry it will disturb cultural artifacts and drinking water in the nearby reservation. The pipeline might be affecting more people than you actually think. Your Facebook friends could be lying about their location on social media. Yesterday, a post circulated around Facebook causing thousands to check in near the pipeline. The post claimed that mass check-ins could prevent law enforcement from tracking protesters. And we're finally getting some rain. Find out when, coming up next.
And speaking of finally, the high school team gets a taste of victory. Find out how long they've gone without a win.
All right, thanks so much, Evan. One high school football team has had it rough over the last few seasons, but this weekend gave Logan County fans a chance to celebrate things to come for their football program. NC12 sports reporter Tyler Poe has the story.
4 years and 42 games. That's how long it's been since the Logan County Cougars have won a football game. But that all changed tonight here at Todd County Central.
The Cougars got out fast, taking the lead 13-7 over the Rebels on this run by tailback Greg Hardy. Hardy finished his night with 97 yards and a score. Full throttle execution was the key for the Cougars.
We finally came together as a team, played all 4 quarters. You know, we came out a little bit rough on the second half, but we picked each other up and we accomplished it.
The points came from everywhere in this one. Tyler Ezel had himself a great game throwing the ball, with plays just like this one where he connects with Lorenzo Garcia for one of his 3 touchdowns. Now, what caused this explosion of points?
Just executing our plays, doing our jobs.
Even with the game out of reach late in the 4th quarter, the offense was still rolling as Ezel found his receiver in the end zone for another score to make it a 56-27 victory. Coach Adler, what does this feel like?
Like 1,000 pounds is lifted off my back. You know, it's the crazy thing about it. These kids have fought all year long. We've got better and better and better each week. We just hadn't had a chance to capitalize. And tonight, that was our motive. Hey, let's keep our foot on the pedal for 4 quarters, and let's see what happens. And, you know, we had a lot of big defensive plays. We had a lot of big offensive plays, and the kids built confidence off of that, and we kept going.
And there you have it, a 56-27 victory over the Todd County Central Rebels.
Reporting for News Channel 12, I'm Tyler Poe.
The Cougars ended their season at 1-9, but look forward to the positive future in the coming seasons.
And up next, Tyler Poe joins us on set to talk all things sports.
And one Bowling Green business is getting very innovative when it comes to making their product.
Cheney's Dairy Barn is now having self-guided robotic milker farm tours. Starting just last June, farmers at Cheney's are no longer milking cows by hand. Instead, they have a robotic milker that does the job for them. The cows used to be milked twice a day, once at the crack of dawn and later again in the afternoon. Milk production is currently at an all-time high for Cheney's. The cows are eager to get milked because that's when they get their feed.
And now we've got Evan Hatter here for one final look at our weather. Please tell me it's going to start feeling like fall soon.
Well, after tomorrow, it certainly will. It'll be a little warm. So tomorrow, 83 degrees. Those southwest winds keeping that mild weather in check for us tomorrow. And the next 7 days, rain on Thursday, but after that, beautiful, absolutely fantastic weather for the rest of the week or the rest of the weekend and into next week. 65 Friday, lower 70s Saturday through Tuesday. It's a beautiful day. So on Tuesday, got the day off, head out and vote if you can. And it seems like looking just past our 7-day forecast, we might have another shot at a little bit of rain on as we head towards midweek next week. So it'll certainly feel like fall.
Well, that's Saturday, Tyler. I bet you're excited for the game.
Yeah, for sure. You know, FIU's they're not looking too good on the stat sheet, but they're a very good team overall. So it's going to be an interesting game for sure. The FIU's played a tough last couple of games, so they're going to be ready to go.
I think so too. I'm pretty excited to be at that game.
I know. I think we've had a lot of good things going on recently. Nice weather, Halloween. It's Day of the Dead coming up. So.
Well, El Dia de los Muertos, if you really want to get correct about it.
All right. Well, Tyler, unfortunately, that's all the time we've got for tonight. But thanks for making News Channel 12 your source for news.
Have a good night.